So I was in uni still, coming to finals, and I asked the same question, and it was around how would I deal with exam stress, life teen, my personal life, and they gave different answers,
Okay.
but it wasn't stark differences.
So what was the answer?
So the one gave me an answer of look at what you're most comfortable doing first. Are you going to put your relationship on hold? Are you going to tell this person I'm dealing with this right now? How are they going to understand it? And then the other one said prioritize your relationship, then your work, everything else falls away. So I understood work and relationship. I think it was more because I gave this perspective of I want to go in this direction, what I want to do, like my work, like what I wanted to do as a job. So I think that's where it came from.
Which advice did you appreciate more? Find out what's
focus on your relationship, like prioritize relationship work.
Okay.
Everything else falls away. So don't focus on that.
Don't focus on that.
Yeah.
So we don't know if it will fall away or fall into place. Just don't focus on it.
Yeah.
Okay, which one did you appreciate more?
So I took on the relationship work because
And then
everything else
follows.
Fall away.
Everything falls away.
Falls away.
Okay.
And
okay.
I leave it be.
Okay.
Like whatever happens.
I think with hearing that story, what I would have suggested was, and this happens often, when stress happens, something has stopped and accelerated at the same time. Meaning you are going, but you are also trying to stop something and you can't control it, and that's what's making you feel so out of control. And the reason for that is that you probably don't have a protective factor around you to say, that's what's happening to you. So it's happening to you and you also don't know what to do about it. And then that's where the stress starts to. That's when the cortisol levels go high up and you start that journey, going down that journey. And the first thing that you should be doing is take it out of your mind. Understand it away from you. Don't be calculating it in your head by yourself amongst the chaos. First, understand it. First, give it a place. So write it down. What is the situation? What is this? What am I dealing with here? Okay, I'm dealing with work. I'm dealing with the studies. I'm dealing with this relationship. And I'm dealing with all these other things. And then you will say, okay, so what does the relationship bring me? What's the point of this in my life? What's the point and purpose of that in my life? And what are all these other things in my life?
These little other stresses.
Yeah. What do all these things mean? Okay. And now that I understand what all these things mean, what is my point with regards to engaging with these things? What's my role in my university? What am I supposed to be giving that? What am I supposed to be giving that relationship? Am I even supposed to be giving these other things? Is that even my place to be giving there? And that's a little line there. And if you can add some little bit of spice of spirituality in there, you can say, what is me and what is God? What is me and what is God? What is I'm trying to let my voice be heard here? Or God doesn't even want me there. I'm trying to control this narrative, but He doesn't even want me to control that. I'm not even going to make a difference there. And then you will bring what seemed to be a big thing, you will start to minimize it and categorize it and place it where it needs to be. And this is what you're doing, all things. That is your actual map. That's why I changed my philosophy and I'm like, I welcome stress. I like uncomfortability. I like stress. I like all the things that is on the outskirts that nobody wants to talk about. Because I feel like that's where the answers lie. That's where the shift in direction. That's where change happens. That's where you figure yourself out. I can't use my 12-year-old brain to be figuring out 23-year-old stuff. I'm changing. And if I'm not going to change, if I'm going to be stuck in my ways, then that means God is probably growing me, but I want to understand it in my box. I want to understand this in my worldview. No, we are called to be change agents. We are called to evolve with each day. And so we shouldn't be defining ourselves by any of this. And I think in your 20s, in your teens, you are still figuring out things. So you should be in that. You should get comfortable with that idea, figuring things out. It's like the first time you learn to drive a car. You are very much, there's a term for it, it's like how knowledge works. So there are things that you know that you know.
No. And you have things that you know you don't know.
Yes.
And then you have things that you don't know that you don't know.
And then there are things that you do know that you don't know. You get it? And this is happening all the time in every aspect of your life. So when you're learning how to drive a car, you very much don't know what you're doing. You know that you don't know. So you're driving that car and you don't know what you're doing, but you're learning what you are doing. You're learning. So your mind is very much engaged in that process. You do this and everything, and you have to look this way and you have to do that. But as you learn to drive, and as you do it often, and as you build that muscle memory, now you start to, you know that you know this. You know that you know this. You're confident. You know that you know that I can get you guys. I can even have passengers. I can even have things in the boot. And I'm going to get you to a place where you need to be. I'm going to use what I know that I know to get you from point A to point B. But then there comes a time when you don't even know that you know how you're doing it. You have a crying baby behind you. You have this happening over here. You need to get these people where they need to be. And you had a stressful thing that you just happened yesterday. And how did you get there? You don't even know how you got there. You don't even know. But when you just learned how to drive, you can't go in. You can't handle that level of stress. So that's how our bodies are wired. At some point, we're just going to naturally know how to do the thing because we are now in a deeper level of opening up ourselves to something else. Getting there was never the purpose. We mustn't know how to get there. We just get there because where we're going is what we're supposed to be doing. And so we are wired as humans to be that way. And so if you're in your 20s, just be concerned with not knowing the unknown. Just.
That's very
Is it different to what you were hoping to think?
That is very uncomfortable for me. I cannot go with the flow. I can't.
Then my advice to you is go with the flow a little bit. Choose one thing. Choose one thing that doesn't even mean anything to you and go with the flow there.
I need to know what, for example, I need to know what I'm having for lunch. I need to know what I'm going to do when I get home from work. I have a set plan of what I need to do.
I like this term, like somebody told me this a while back, like Catholics like to offer things up. I'm offering my headache up, I'm offering my, and I always thought, I never heard a Catholic do that really, but I understand it because it's almost like we, especially in our faith, we understand deeply Jesus' suffering. Absolutely. You know, we understand through the Stations of the Cross, we understand that our faith, it's got to do with suffering. And so in our suffering, we learn so much about ourselves. We get to know other places in ourselves. And if that is something that you struggle with, and obviously our strugglings are connected to our suffering, then you offer that up because we want more of God and less of us. That's the journey we're supposed to be going on. We want more of God and less of us so we can be true vessels of what He has called us to do. So if we are controlling narratives, how are we letting go? And if we're struggling to let go, we are interfering with the plan and the purpose. You want, whatever your story is, you want to see the society move from where it is to something better. That we can all agree on, whether I'm going to want studying to be a teacher or I'm studying to finish my exams. You're doing so to move you from where you are to something better. That was the goal. Then we started micro-thinking it to one specific thing and whatever.
So I get that, I absolutely get that. And I think like with this whole of you want certain things to be, and
that's how God speaks to us, through our itches, through our frustrations, through, that's why it's the sacrifice. It just works that way. And so I realized ultimately the highest thing is connecting with people to move to a greater good. And that's what separated me from the male, understanding the male more. Firstly, we are not the same. We are not the same. We don't see the world the same way. We don't. I don't agree with the thing of we're the same, we can do the same. Yes, we are. We have the potential. We have the potential to complete any task the same way. But innately, we are not the same. Our purpose is different. And that's a good thing. I like that we are different. I like it. It's special. And once I realized that, I was like, okay, I can't use my eyes and expect this person to get it like I get it. Okay, so now that I know that a male is different to who I am, now I can understand that other females are different to other ages are different to me. And so it makes me, my stress actually becomes the tool like, look at that. Start looking at that person, start looking at this thing, start letting go of that. What was the point of this? Maybe you can't be doing this like this every day. You should be shifting, you should be changing. And that's how we participate in the world. That's what it's about. It's not going to fall apart. Like who do we think we are? To
Yeah,
think that
to
we
think
are the
that-
one that are
yes.
putting or that keeping it together.
Yeah.
It's not gonna fall apart. And if it does fall apart, maybe it was supposed to fall apart.
Yeah, it was maybe
It was time.
Yes.
It was time for that to go.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. So at the end of all of this and everything that was said, what I actually realized is the fact that the Rugby World Cup is stressing a lot of people out. I don't know why it's stressing them
supposed to be
out.
bringing us together.
Exactly, but it's stressing everyone out. That is the one thing that is currently happening. And
But like I told you, I love stress. But I appreciate it when it
I
comes.
still don't know how. But yeah, the Rugby World Cup is the one thing. And there is exams that is happening. There's university exams. There's some people is busy with work exams to a certain extent. There's also school exams. Deadlines and all of those things, yeah. So, and also we are reaching the end of the year, which is another big stress. But, through it all, I think the most important thing is that we as humans need to remember that we are human. And we just need to, I'm not saying we must, but we need to attempt to find that ways of dealing with the stress. Because, like you said now, you like the stress.
Like lean into it, man. That would be my advice. Like I honestly have come from a lot of different paths and I've listened to many people because stress was, I wanted to hack it. I
Yes.
wanted to hack stress.
Because
I
that's
wanted
one
to
thing that you
finally
can't.
tell me.
Yes.
And listening to many people, no, everybody can give you their map on how it works for them.
Yes.
Or they can give you this strategy. Or you're gonna have to go listen to a psychologist and they will first have to listen to you and then go
And
through
then
all the
the
phases.
practical things,
And
yes.
whereas you can go build your own understanding of it. You're the one that's going to be dealing with stress. And so it's going to be part of your journey. It's inevitable. That's one thing that I learned. Stress is going to happen. You can't run away from it. You lean into the stress. You lean into it and you accept it as part of your life. And like I told you, that's how God, I believe, works with us. And we are not here to hack life. We are on this journey and it's going to take the journey that it's supposed to be on. And every day, that's why the prayer is daily bread. Give me my daily bread. Honestly, you don't know. God does magic. God he uses different mathematics. He uses different circumstances. He works on a different level. And more of Him, less of you. Lean into the stress. Accept that it's part of life. It is actually there to navigate our journey, to tell us when a threat is coming, and to say, I've equipped you for this. I've equipped you for this. Don't
What
listen
reminds
to,
you?
and it brings me back to our past. We are also called here to heal our generation. Heal our past, because I have a story to tell. I have a past, you have a past, Aidan has a past. It's all different. We come from different circumstances and we are in a room together. We are each other's stories. Our story is what connects us. Our story is what we can relate to. It's like, what are we running for? What are we trying to, what's the deadline for? You're just there to do your job at that place, or you're there to write that exam for the work that you've been doing in the classroom throughout the year.
Throughout the couple of weeks.
And now the test is just there to test the knowledge that you know.
Yeah.
And so if teens have been making the subject content that they're learning at school part of their journey, part of
their daily life,
then it shouldn't be an issue when the exam comes, And if they are feeling immense pressure about the exam, maybe this is the time to lean into that. Maybe now you are prepared to understand, where is the stress coming from? Why is it so much higher than regular?
Yes.
Why am I
What
feeling the
stress I
pressure?
go
Yeah,
through
why
on
is it
daily?
so intense now? Maybe lean into that now and understand. It's coming to you now. You can walk past somebody else and they might not be going through what you're going through. So it's coming to you now for a particular reason. And if you're going to ignore it, it will turn into...
It's going to come back.
It's going to make you anxious.
Yes.
It's going to make you restless.
Yes.
And we're supposed to be resting in God. And so once you're restless, you don't know what to do with that feeling. That's a different mindset you're walking into. Now you're dealing with restlessness. Now your mind is fixated on the restlessness. And you're not even concentrating on the paper, the exam, the what you're supposed to be doing. So you need to be brought back, taken out of that bubble and report. And the best way to do that is to get that heart rate up. Run. go and run. People always say, should I do meditation? No.
Run.
Run. Cry.
Get your mind out
Get
of
your
it,
mind. Cry. Do something physical that's going to shake you out of it. Wrestle. Go for a lap swim. Prized. What? Coming from one mindset and then getting your heart rate up and running. And then coming back, you're like, what was the thing again that I was?
Yes.
So that will shift you. So once, if you notice that you're becoming now anxious and restless, you're overthinking, then it's time to shift. We are humans that are able to shift. Get your heart rate up, run, come back, do something relaxing, and then tackle that issue that was pressing on you at that time. Daily bread also, one thing at a time. There isn't a map. There isn't. You can research things. You can hear what other people are doing and say, okay, that's interesting. That maybe I actually think that might work for me because I like those things. But at the end of the day, you're building your own way on how you deal with it. Some people like to participate in group sport. Some people just want to be by themselves with music in the ear and you know, punching a punching bag or running or whatever. We're all different. But we need to test these things out to know what works for us. And we are building our story from the moment we feel stress. We are building our story. Because no matter what your age is, you're going to continue feeling it.
Exactly.
It's going to happen. You haven't ended. And that's what makes you grow. That's what gains you credibility to be there for others, to become an expert in what you're called to be and to do. It's often the wisest people that are the most quiet. Why? And the most relaxed. They're just chilling there, soaking it up.
Just cool, calm.
They obviously know something we don't know.
Yes, like they can handle stress to a certain extent, but if it comes to them, they're like, oh, the bridge is burning. Oh, okay, no, that's cool. That's nice. We see the bridge burning and we like, what is going on?
Yeah. And also make it personal again. You are here to build relationships with people. You are here. You don't make the goal or the thing the priority. Make we are working towards this goal over here because for this greater good or for I've been given this team, and sometimes this team is frustrating, but maybe I've been given it for a reason. I need to lean into it. I'm part of this family that it's very difficult to be part of, but maybe I am there for a reason. There's lessons that's there to prepare me for something bigger. You definitely are put in a place for a lesson. The lesson is not only in the classroom. It's not.
And for another reason also. That's the thing. I think sometimes we are put in certain positions and we don't know why.
It brings me to this thing, a purpose. Everything has a purpose. A building has a purpose. A chair has a purpose. Even a spoon has a purpose. Why don't we think as human beings that we have a purpose? Just like a spoon. You use a spoon
for many things.
As a utensil, the window is used for something. The building has its purpose. We can define it. Why don't we believe that we can define our purpose and that we actually have a purpose? And we don't see it as clearly as a spoon or a table or a thing. Why? Because perhaps we're preoccupied with a whole lot of other things that we're not realizing that the journey that we're on is the purpose. And preparing, and each time that we go through it, at the end of it, we're gonna see how it plays out. And when we're connecting, each day we wake up and given our daily bread, and we connect. That's the day that we learn more. Yeah. We are in the best times ever now.
We don't realize that. I feel like we
don't. Like our parents used to work for a company and then retire in that company. You stuck it out, there was a pattern back in the day. We're not seeing a pattern anymore. We're seeing a change. We're seeing a shift in something. And we shouldn't be so rigid about our thinking because we don't know what's gonna happen.
What's the future?
Only at the end of it we will know how.
Okay, so we've said a lot. We've mentioned a lot. We've laughed, we've joked about. So just before we conclude, you have been saying, since we've made contact with you, that you have been thinking about us, you've been praying for us, and when you've heard this podcast, you were like, your first thoughts were like, okay, so there's these two young adults doing a podcast, something very, very new to Corpus Christi. So we just want to do a quick something different. And
I asked you guys this, right?
Yeah.
I asked you, listen, where is this going? Where is this going? And if you can tell me, obviously when something good is happening, people want to buy into it. People want to follow it. If it can be seen like a vision, if you can see it like, oh my God, this is the vision. of where this thing is going, people start to look. And so that's when I asked you guys, okay, so what do you think is the vision of this podcast? Where do you see it? And when you got the idea, the moment it popped into your head, what did you think was going to happen? What did you want? What's the aspiration? And when you first heard, Kaylynn, when you first said, because the idea came from you, right? You were sitting and thinking about this.
Yes.
And when the idea popped in your mind, what was happening in your life prior to lead you to this moment?
I was making the decision to accept the PPC nomination. I was en route to making that decision. And I didn't realize what it entails. God is calling me for this huge, I felt it was, Table Mountain was in front of me and I had to get over Table Mountain, but it was right in front of me and I had to make one big step. It was my decision to make one big step, to get over that mountain.
And when you say, what was the mountain?
The mountain was making the decision of becoming part of the PPC or not.
And what made you see the PPC position as a mountain?
Because firstly, I felt that I was young. Well, in that time, I felt that I was young. I felt like it was a huge responsibility because this was the first time that Corpus Christi has had a youth member on the PPC.
So you were feeling that weight.
I don't feel like that now. Definitely don't feel like that now. But I felt like it was a big weight.
But that's a good feeling because you're understanding the depth of the position.
Yes. So then eventually Anna accepted it and they were asking us, so what are we going to do for our different services to this PPC? And they were all the members were giving me ideas and thinking about this and thinking about that.
And when you were hearing the ideas,
I was just like, that's not me. That is not the type of person that I am. I don't see myself sitting on a Sunday afternoon or Sunday evening with 10 young adults and we're speaking about A, B, and C. That's not me. And then I reached out to Aidan and I said, Aidan, do we still have that thing of wanting to have a podcast?
So it was something that popped in your guys' head.
It was, yes.
It was conversations.
Yeah.
Yes, when myself and Aidan just connected, that time when I joined Life Team, myself, Aidan, and Tamsin actually. And myself and Aidan said, no, we want to do a podcast. And then we forgot about it. And Tamsin was like, yes, I think you guys should do it. Really, I think you guys should do it. And I was like, okay, cool. We'll address it again. And then when this now came of, you need to be doing A, B, and C as PPC, as serving on PPC, I was like, Aidan, I think this is the perfect opportunity. And then I reached out to someone else and this person also said, she knows that myself and Aidan has been speaking about it, let's do it. And we discussed and we thought, okay, you know what, where are we going to do it? What is our time slot?
How easy was it putting the whole thing together? Did it come easy?
I thought it did. We have everything sorted out. We have what we need. We have the mics, we have what we're going to use, we have the content. Yeah, I just went from there. It wasn't such a big deal of where's everything going to go. The space we're in now, it was standing vacant on a Sunday.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we were like, okay, let's just use the space. It's there, it's free.
And it's come together for you guys now.
It has come together.
And where do you see it now that you've started? How many episodes have you had so far?
This is number 4.
Number 4, episode
Yes,
4, right?
4.
This one that we're doing right now.
Currently doing.
I would say that you guys are established because you have a flow going and a routine on when you meet. Where do you see it going now?
We are en route to expanding our team very soon. Before 2023 concludes, we will mention that very soon. Our potential new member. I think also a lot of people has said to us, please record so we can see. Please let us actually watch.
But you guys need to get some nice.
I want the space to be good. I don't want it to be, but also it's the.
So we need some donations.
Corpus Christi, if you're listening, please.
You need to create a vibe here.
Yeah.
But I like that. I like that idea of showing also as opposed to listening to what's happening here. To create it. So you bringing the listener in on what's happening here.
They can see that we are having lunch, or they can
And
see that that is moving.
Yeah, exactly. And perhaps also to make it more conversational, just conversations, and picking people's brains and finding out how they got through that issue. Because I feel like you don't have to be an expert on anything. You just have to be. We all have our story.
But you were talking about video podcast now. In my head, my vision or going further is to have it live streamed. So it's live and people
and,
ask
and,
questions.
and people can interact. That's
Yes.
awesome. I would participate in that. I would like to be like live on that, and so that's beautiful to know that it's going to be. It's being opened.
Yes.
It's been broadened and opened up to not only the parish but the whole broader Catholic community. And so what you guys are doing, I pray that God may bless it abundantly and that you guys may grow from strength to strength. Hopefully all the parishioners out there will be praying for the success of it, for the people that want to, for the teens' hearts who are wanting to express themselves to reach out to you also.
Yes. That's also very
Because those
important to
are
us.
the voices that we are wanting to hear.
And I think like that's really one of our most important things is that there has never been a platform, from what I remember, at Corpus Christi where people could come sit and share whatever, how they feel, when they're feeling. I just feel like there has never been that platform where you could come sit on a Sunday or Saturday or whenever the case is, and you can just say, listen, why does this happen in the Catholic faith? Or why do I have to get married at this age? Or why do I have to have children at this age? Why must I be in a certain ministry at this age? We have been saying that
we need to ask the questions, and if we're not going to give the platform to ask the questions and then also the time and the space to say that's a good question,
yes,
maybe we need to think about it more, maybe we need to research on it more and unpack that again. But first the platform and then the space and the freedom to express the thought. Because let me tell you something, the catechism of the church, the founding fathers of the church, they have contemplated everything already. How to live, the church knows very deeply in its teachings. And if we can connect with one another, we can start speaking about it and we can learn from each other live with our experiences. And we can say, oh my word, okay, here is the teaching and here's a real life experience on how it actually worked with that. Or maybe we should learn more about that. Why is that? Why do we find that challenging? Let's see what the catechism say. Let's see what the teachings say about that, and let's unpack it. That's
So I think that is one of the most important things that we have come to realize. Like, this is the platform
for that.
You know where to find us. You know how to reach us. You know
the vision. You know what. If something's stirring in your heart,
Exactly.
that's been playing on your mind for a while, connect.
Please do. And I'm glad that Shana has asked us this, and yes, because now we could actually give our point of view, even though I think we've been giving our point of views, but you know, it's
the reason why.
The reasoning behind it. So, Shana, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. We're now going to send you back. You can gladly go back to your family.
Thank you.
But no, thank you for joining us this afternoon. Thank you for sharing your perspectives, your much older perspectives than what the perspectives that we have. And going forward, we wish you all the
Thank you guys for having me. And I just feel, I don't know when this is going to be published, but can we just say a Hail Mary for what's going on in the world and for the future of the podcast. And in the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and at the hour of our death. Amen. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you, and we'll see you in the next one.